Sanya Joda Soge Chonamla Chanjo Bando Dane Gyaso Che Dage Jin So Kebe Sonamgi Tola Benjre Sanya Jubara Isho Sanya Joda Soge Chonamla Chanjo Bando Dane Gyaso Che Dage Jin So Kebe Sonamgi Tola Benjre Sanya Jubara Isho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Dathagato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramana Yesva Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramana Yesva Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Te Sham Dathagato Yavatat Te Sham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramana Yesva. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, this morning we were supposed to be reading the three principal aspects of the path. We left it. So let's turn to page 109. And particularly for the sake of the beginners or those who are not from the Narada studies, I'd like to quickly give the background of what this text is about. Three principal aspects of the path. Whatever tradition practices that you do, finally keep in mind, the first thing that we keep in mind is that it is for your own well-being. Let's not forget it. This is for your own well-being. And later on, when you come to the following the Buddha's own teachings, we'll come to realize that the best thing that you're doing for yourself, the best thing that you can do for yourself is by serving the best for others. So, compassion and self-benefit, you see that these two on the higher plane of reality, these two are synonymous. The more you do for others, your benefit is already accomplished. So and then you reach a certain point whereby you realize that there's nothing that I really need to work for myself. Just work for others. That is the purpose. Your benefit, you don't really have to worry about yourself. So this on a high plane of reality, we see that these two are synonymous. So this is the beauty of the practice of compassion taught by the Buddha. So therefore, if you keep practicing compassion in a skillful way, then you reach a point where then the more the provocative, the more the unruly other side is, more the compassion grows. And as you feel compassion, accompanying feeling that you get is very profoundly beautiful and profoundly at ease. So having said this, let us don't start from my tradition or I belong to this, I belong to that, and so forth. It's about my well-being. Don't forget it, my well-being. Finally, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to suffer from samsara. I want to stop the tears, painful tears of samsara. For example, like many of us, at times we go through difficulties to the extent that what should I do? I want to leave everything and go to Himalaya, and then so that I'll go to a place where nobody knows my presence, and then I'll just be there with the peaceful ears. How many of you felt it once in a while, presents? Once in a while. Yes, there's nothing wrong in this. The only thing is that this is the reality. So there, tradition doesn't matter at that point. Imagine that you are in such a situation where you are so desperate, I want to leave everything, and then nothing works, I want to leave everything and to go to Himalaya where nobody knows my existence. So there, it's about your well-being. At that point, anybody can come and tell you that don't worry, your problem can be solved. Anybody can come, and for you, anything works. So as long as somebody can give you that ease, free you from that sense of the entanglement, sense of the confusion, sense of the problem, you are ready to embrace it. It's not about tradition. So always start with my well-being and the well-being of others. So for that matter, what we require is that we need to identify the root of the problem. And root of the problem, which we discussed since yesterday, is the ignorance. So to counter the ignorance, we need to resort to the wisdom. To counteract the darkness, it's only through introducing the light that the darkness can be eradicated. Likewise, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated. So the light of the wisdom, that becomes very important for us. That is the wisdom of emptiness, of the three principal parts, the first one, wisdom of emptiness. And this wisdom, to what extent it will work to help you, to ease you, to bring your well-being, to create the well-being in you, is determined by the motivation. For example, like somebody, say in school, like this boy or the two little girls, and Tinshala, where are you, Tinshala? Where are you? Okay, she's there. Yes, and this boy here. Two of them, I would say, at this age, and then gradually they turn to age 12, 14, 15. And just imagine that they are two little children, two young children. And the one has a tremendous enthusiasm. I will complete PhD. And one, just even to complete class, this high school, one feels so tired, there's so many years to go. But one says, no, I will complete class for the PhD. So which of the two you think, both equally intelligent, which of the two you think will, if there is somebody after, let's say, 15 years of the two, somebody's completed PhD, who do you think would be the one most likely? The one with the enthusiasm or one without the enthusiasm? One with enthusiasm. So the enthusiasm is the one which makes the intelligence, the wisdom of emptiness, effective. So enthusiasm, the best of the intelligence, the best of the enthusiasm that you can think of is the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta, wanting to work for the welfare of all sentient beings. For example, like Mahatma Gandhi. So say, each one of us, if somebody says that somebody abuses you, and you take it very personally, because I am offended, I'm being abused. So you feel very personally, this one. Whereas you think of all others, the courage builds up, courage becomes very strong. So Mahatma Gandhi, before he was thrown out of the train, he was not a Mahatma. He became Mahatma the moment he was thrown out of the train, and then he realized that it's not Gandhi who's thrown, MK Gandhi who's thrown out from the train. Whole India is thrown out of the train. Then he was thinking of the whole India, all the citizens of India, like 200 the millions in those days, 200 million. 200 million Indians, they are thrown out of the train. I should work for them. I'm not Gandhi. I'm the Indians. So that gave him so much of courage and strength. Just amazing. So this weir, the bodhicitta, which wishes to become enlightened for the benefit of all the sentient beings. So taking the responsibility of all the sentient beings, that is the greatest of the enthusiasm. And the bodhisattvas, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and particularly Buddhas in the Madhyamaka Avatara, entry in the middle way by Acharya Chandrakirti. So where, and the commentaries said that the Buddhas would treasure the Bodhisattvas a lot, because Bodhisattvas, they are like the saplings. They are not yet grown fully. And Buddhas, they are already grown fully. So Buddhas, they would really cherish the Bodhisattvas. And the Buddhas, they went on to say that if you are to make prostration to the Buddhas or the Bodhisattvas, you have to make prostration to the Bodhisattvas. Of course, the Buddha, everybody wants to become Buddha, not just Bodhisattva, want to become Buddha, and becoming Bodhisattva to become Buddha. But the Buddha, out of tremendous sense of concern and affection, cherishing the aspiration that these beings generate, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. So the Buddhas really cherish each one of us. If you generate bodhicitta, you just mimic, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are hearing something so pleasant. When every time you make a commitment, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are seeing you. They are hearing something so pleasant. Like a child, for the first time, Mom, I will help you. Rather than Mom, you help me. Every time you help me, I have this problem, I have that problem, and so forth. One time I saw in one place, I'm not going to mention the place, and the person saying, the mother and father and the child, the daughter already big, not like these little girls, big already. And the two, they were going for a holiday, like 2 or 3 days holiday. And the mother and father already did their packing. They already did. And then now they're helping and then the daughter sitting like this. And she was showing anger, temper to the parents, saying that you are not packing my things. And they pack, you say, you are doing wrong. Oh. So whereas, just imagine, that suddenly this same girl, if she says, Mom and Dad, I'll help you. Mom and Dad would not believe their ears. They're hearing something which is magic. This is exactly what is happening to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. When they hear that you are making, every morning you are making the commitment, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. So therefore the Buddhas, they really cherish the beings who aspire to who generate this very strong commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. So, in this connection, I know that there are many of you who are really doing many good things in your own capacity. I remember many years ago, the Anagreg, which year was that? 2017, we were conducting a retreat in Bodh Gaya, and Anagreg was there. And it was just, I think, the second or third day of the retreat. And she said that, Geshe, I have to skip today's program. I said, why? It's just about like 8 or 9 days. Why? And she was holding up, the injured rat, and saying that I'm going to take this to the vet. So this is compassion. Well, who will take care of the rats? Okay, cats, dogs, okay, it's fine. We will accept it. But the rats will take him. But here, there's somebody who really feels the pain of this rat. We're all same. So this is compassion and action. So this, where you make this commitment to help others, even tiny insect, even the mosquito who's lying there, you pick it up and keep it in your room and let it, be at peace. So these are so precious Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. They're feeling so happy. So with this mind, the best of the motivation that we can think of is bodhicitta, number 2. And to generate bodhicitta, to feel the pain for others, you have to feel the pain on yourself. If you don't identify what the pain, what samsara pain is like with respect to yourself, you cannot really think of say, helping others. So many of you already attended the retreats. So this thing, remember that for the bodhicitta, the ground, the foundation for the bodhicitta to generate bodhicitta is the renunciation. It's the renunciation. So I used to share this this small story where there was a wife and husband, and wife was one day having a toothache. And how many of you had toothache in your life, presents? Okay, so now Dr. Rinsala is watching who have the toothache. Dr. Rinsala is there, who is seeing who are those people who have the toothache. Okay, so again, what is a toothache like? It's cute. What's it like? What's the pain like? Huh? Very sharp, unbearable. So one day, the wife was suffering from toothache, and she was crying. She was crying out of the toothache pain. And the husband said, so there was generally, maybe after a few years, not the first month or the 2 months, after a few years. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? This was the relationship, not the first month. It was after a few years. Why are you crying? And I said, I've got toothache. What is toothache? Tooth is a bone. Bone is not a pain. The next year, the husband had a toothache. And he was crying. He was crying. And the wife said, why are you crying? Wife repeated everything. Why are you crying? He said, I've a toothache. What is toothache? Tooth is a piece of bone. Bone doesn't have pain. And he said, the male tooth and female tooth, they are different. So why these men, why this husband could not empathize with the wife the last year was because that he did not have that experience of the toothache himself. When you don't have the experience of the pain yourself, you cannot really empathize with others. So therefore, to feel the pain, the gravity of the pain of samsara on yourself, which is renunciation, wanting to get away from this, the pain of samsara, only then you can empathize with other beings. So for the bodhicitta, we require the renunciation is the foundation. So these three things are what is known as the foundation or the three principal aspects of the path. And now the point is that some people say that okay, I'm following this tradition, I'm following that tradition, and so forth. It's not about tradition, it's about your well-being. Don't forget it. For your well-being, the wisest of the well-being, connotes incorporating these three practices. If you learn these three practices, study, contemplate, meditate, get convinced that these are three things which are required to have for my own well-being, then you can go anywhere in the world. Whatever tradition that you follow is fine, as long as you stick to these three things. And additional things can be there, it's fine. But these three things, if there's any compromise that you make to any of these three things, you are being of great disservice to yourself. Let's not forget it. So oftentimes there are some practices where bodhicitta is absolutely missing, emptiness is absolutely missing, and just focus on some other things. Other things are important. But these three things are like the salient, three pillars of your well-being. So with this in mind, Lama Tsongkhapa, here we are going to read this three principles for the path, and then the next question is that the question arises, this is very important. Okay, first let me say, okay, Joshua, so if you just imagine that I'm asking a question to you, and how would you respond? Let's say Joshua will represent all of you. Say if I ask you that, Joshua, you have no clue of any of the practices, dharma, and so forth, and somebody tells you that somebody who you feel as, oh, this is a decent person, tells you that, Joshua, you have to practice the wisdom of emptiness. So what will you say? Hey, gentlemen. Sometimes it takes a little while.
Hello.
Yes.
I would ask, why do I need to practice?
Why should I practice this? Okay, how many agree with Joshua in a sense? If somebody says that, they have to practice the wisdom of emptiness. Why should I practice that? Why? Number one. So then, okay, not finished. Then the next is, then I explain that this will remove your miseries, you have the pain, you have to shed tears of pain, of life. So the final remedy lies in the wisdom of emptiness, and oh, it makes sense. Oh yes, I have to practice it. What will be the next question then? What will you say?
The next question I will ask is, how do I practice it?
Then you say, once you feel the need to practice it, the reason why I should practice it, that by seeing the benefit of this, then next question, how should I practice it? Then the person tells you how to practice it so well, systematically. What will be the next question?
What practices do I need to do?
Okay, that I already told you.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yes, Samsala.
What is the measure of having practice? What is
question.
What is the benefit?
No. Always, whatever you said, stay there, don't add more. So she said, what is a measure? Meaning that, how do I know that I realize emptiness? You know the benefit, you know how to practice this, then you practice it, then how do I know that I've realized emptiness? This is known as the measure of having realized emptiness. Number one is, why? That is the benefit. Number two, how to practice it. Two. Number three, what is the measure of having generated the wisdom of emptiness? Likewise, for the renunciation, why to practice renunciation, how to practice renunciation, and what's the measure of having generated renunciation. Likewise for the bodhicitta. So, in other words, these three principal aspects of the path, they are taught under these subheadings. Why, how, and the measure. You're getting it? The Lama Tsongkhapa style is very different, so succinct. Economy of words, very clear and succinct. This is the beauty and the strength of Lama Tsongkhapa's words. Extremely crispy, very clear and very powerful, and this is amazing. So in fact, our dear friend, one of the participants of NMC2, Sherry Pamela, Tinzirangdula, so who is now undergoing treatment, she's extremely fond of this text. And in the retreat, I say, this text, the treatment, which page number, she will just send 8. She'll just tell you the page number, everything. This is the favorite text. She's going through illness at the moment, and I know that many of her friends, I learned that there are about 200, 300 friends, Dharma friends, not the, what is that? Nightclub friends. Dharma friends are there who are praying for her. And I learned from Dr. Anidaji that she is, taking the medicines, the treatment's working. It's being effective. This is good news. Let us continue to pray for her and others. Okay, so with this in mind, this one part, which means that each of these three principles of the path, Lama Tsongkhapa are taught under the three subheadings. What are they? Why to practice? How to practice? The measure of having generated the measure. Okay, just 3. Okay, then the another start of Lama Tsongkhapa is that where things are easy, he will not really go into an explanation. Where things are easy, he will just skip. Where things are difficult, then he'll go into detailed explanation. This is the strength. And sometimes His Holiness gives a metaphor that if you read the different books, the books composed by different authors. So some authors, they are like the elderly men. Elderly men. So you eat a food, if it's hard, you swallow it. You understand it? If it's hard, you cannot chew it, what do? Swallow it. But if it's soft, you chew on it a lot. So therefore, some authors, with easy points, they elaborate a lot. Difficult points, they swallow. Whereas Lama Tsongkhapa was opposite. Easy, he swallow. Soft ones. Hard ones, he just explain so clearly. This is the beauty and the strength of Lama Tsongkhapa's text. So with this, and what I'm saying is that where they say under these 3 subheadings, for example, like for bodhicitta, you see that why, how, then the third one, the measure, is not indicated. So the measure you have to take from the measure explained at the time of the explaining renunciation. From there you have to take it down. But for example, if I say that how do you know that you complete your high school? You'll get a certificate. When I say this, how do you know that you completed PhD? PhD and high school is very different. But from the certificate point, you know that for PhD you completed. How do you know? How do you get the recognition that you get the certificate? You just extrapolate it from what is taught, what is explained for the how do you know to get the finish the high school? Likewise, you apply to the PhD, completion of PhD when you get the certificate. So likewise, the measure, what is explained in the renunciation, you have to apply it. You have to know how to apply it to the bodhicitta. Okay, so with this mind, let us turn to page 109. Read this together slowly. The three principal aspects of the path by Lama Tsongkhapa. I bow down to the Venerable Lamas. As well as I am able, I will explain the essence of all the teachings of the Buddha, the path praised by the Buddha, Bodhisattvas, congruous children, the entrance for those who desire liberation. Listen to the clear mind, you fortunate ones, who are not attached to the joys of secular existence. Strive to make good use of leisure and opportunity, and direct your minds to the path that pleases the Buddhas. Without pure renunciation, an end to attraction for the pleasure of secular existence is unattainable. The craving for existence also binds beings, thus from the outset seek renunciation. Reverse attraction to this life, but reflect on how leisure and opportunity are difficult to find and how life is ephemeral without a span. Reverse attraction to future lives, but repeatedly think of the infallibility of karmas and its effects and the miseries of samsara. Contemplating thus, when for an instant you do not admire the splendors of secular existence and remain intent on liberation day and night, renunciation is born in you then. Renunciation, if not tempered by the pure mind of bodhicitta, however, will not bring forth the perfect bliss of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise ones generate the excellent mind of bodhicitta, swept up in the current of the four powerful rivers, tied by strong bonds of karma so hard to undo, caught in the night of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the darkness of ignorance, born and reborn in boundless cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three miseries, thinking of yours, mothers, in the condition, generate the supreme mind of bodhicitta. Although you train in the renunciation of the mind of bodhicitta, without the wisdom that realizes the ultimate reality, you cannot cut the root of secular existence. Therefore, strive to understand dependent arising. One who sees the infallible cause and effect of all phenomena in samsara and nirvana and dissolves all focus of apprehension has entered the path which pleases the Buddhas. Appearances are infallible, dependent arising. Emptiness is understanding that is free of assertions. As long as these two are seen as distinct, you have not yet realized the intent of the Buddhas. When these two realizations are concurrent, where the mere sight of infallible dependent origination concurrently destroys all modes of grasping through definite discernment, at that time the analysis of the profound view is perfected. Furthermore, appearances refute the extreme of existence, emptiness refutes the extreme of non-existence. When you understand that emptiness arises in the form of cause and effect, you are not captivated by the view of extremes. O my child, once you have thus realized the three principles, seek solitude and cultivate strong determination to quickly reach the unaspired goal. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama, many years ago when he was given the teaching, would always say that with the last verse, O my child, once you have thus realized, although Lama Tsongkhapa, the author of the text, Lama Tsongkhapa, was addressing this to his student, but his Holiness says that if you could connect yourself, to feed yourself like the child of the spiritual child of Lama Tsongkhapa, Lama Tsongkhapa is addressing this to me, that once you have realized the three principal aspects of the path, then don't waste your time. Seek solitude. Seek solitude doesn't mean that you have to go to Himalaya. It means cut off the distractions. Even if you're to home is fine. Even if you're at home, even the busy lifestyle of the city life, but still cut yourself from the distractions of the mundane, excessive mundane activities. And that is the solitude. That is the solitary the approach. And then whatever you have learned, try to put into practice. Study, contemplate, contemplation, and meditation. Meditation meaning constant practice about the conviction that we gained out of from the study of the three principal aspects. So if you could feel that if you feel that Lama Tsongkhapa is actually addressing to me, then this builds a very strong karmic connection that in the future lifetimes you will be born as under the direct supervision of Lama Tsongkhapa. So this is what His Holiness always says during his teachings. Okay, so having said this, now continuation from where we left this morning. What I said is that just a little bit of discussion, and many of you are a little lost. It doesn't matter, but you may feel that we're cut off from a major portion of this the discussion. So for you, what we discussed is that the flower not being able to withstand, flower does not withstand the ultimate analysis. What does it mean by that? First, we have to know this. Okay, how many understood this question? Let me repeat that, and then particularly those NMC1, NMC2, you're fine. You can raise your hands, but then those who are not from NMC1, NMC1 and 2, if you say, every time I ask a question, see if you resonate with, your mind resonate with the question that I'm asking, and then give your answer accordingly. This will keep your mind active, and this is within the 10 days, if you're very serious, you see that you're actually growing in your intelligence, knowledge, both, and of course, towards the end of the retreat, you may also feel a little tired. Mentally, you'll feel fatigued, tired. Does not mean that it's a weather problem. No, because your brain is working very differently from otherwise the last, if you're 30 or even 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, this kind of activation of brain did not really happen. So because of this, you feel tired. So if it does happen, don't take it negatively. Don't blame the weather, or don't blame the food. Don't blame that I have to run from Tsongkhapa Khangtsen to here, very far away, because that you have utilized your brain, you have to utilize your intelligence to the maximum. It's very precious. Okay, so the first thing that I like to, particularly those who felt a little lost this morning, the discussion we had, just if you understand what I'm sharing with you now, let's say that the first thing, who brought this up? I think Tenzin Sila brought this up. Say a flower could not withstand the ultimate analysis. Let's begin from there. Flower could not withstand the ultimate analysis. What does it mean by that? I don't know. Don't worry. How many heard this sentence? Raise hands. How many heard this sentence? What did I say? The flower could not withstand the ultimate analysis. Okay, you heard it. And what does it mean? Don't worry. You're getting it? Don't worry. As long as you heard what is said, the sentence, good enough. For this, you need to understand what is meant by ultimate analysis. What is meant by withstand. And then the flower could not withstand the ultimate analysis. It becomes easy for us. So for that, ultimate analysis. Let us say, okay, I will ask you some questions. In a way, this is a very good intro for us to go further into the text. Otherwise, text itself, if you jump into the text, most likely in 2 days' time, the number will reduce to half. For sure. For sure. Whereas this introductory part, which is actually not really introductory, this is very important part. If you get something of this, then you see that whatever we're reading, although it may seem a little technical, still you will feel that I'm getting something. Maybe 20%, 30% I'm getting. And it's so profound, you will admire it. Okay, so first of all, what is meant by ultimate analysis question? So for this, let me ask you this question, and meanwhile you try to give the answer mentally. Try to give the answer, and then as you give the answer, you may get lost in this. That I cannot give the answer because I'm confused. So which means you're growing. If you feel that you're confused, you're growing. Okay, so let's say that we talk about age. We talk about age. How old are you? This question. How old are you? Okay. Raise your hands, those who are, say, 39 and below. 39 and below. Raise hands. 39 and below. Raise hands. So look at their face, they're very happy. Look at the face, they're very happy. 39 and below. Okay. The remaining raise hands. Not too happy. Not too happy. You know why? Because this emotional stir happens. Emotional stir happens. 39 and below, emotionally you feel very happy. Right? I'm young. I'm in the young category of the young people. You're getting it? Emotionally you feel stirred, happy. Happiness is evoked within you. And the remaining, which means 40 and plus, right? You feel a little sad. Okay, now he is disclosing out my age. You're getting it? You're a little sad. Or you're a little sad, not too happy. Okay, so emotion is stirred there. Emotion is stirred there. Okay, let us be very honest. Those people who are 30 and 39 and below, when you raise hands, you're a little happy. Raise hands. Who felt a little happy? Raise hands. Little happy. You belong to the group of the young ones. Little happy. Please, yes. Little happy. Okay. So those the 40 and plus, not too happy. Raise hands. Raise hands who do not really feel not too happy. Okay, good. Look, this stir of emotions happen. Why this stir happens? Because of at the root of the emotional stir. At the root of the emotional stir is self-grasping ignorance. At the root of this emotional stir lies self-grasping ignorance, believing the age as intrinsically real. I belong to the intrinsically real young group. I'm very sad because I belong to he is disclosing that I belong to the intrinsically old age group. You're getting it? Intrinsically. There lies the ignorance there. This is the thing. The next is, so what is this? What makes you feel sad, feel happy, this emotional stir? Because of seeing the age. Because of the age. Let's not say intrinsic age or whatever, because of he is dividing the people based on the age. Based on the age. Okay, so this age is seen as intrinsically real, then the emotions are stirred. Various emotions are stirred. Now, what is this age? Tell me. What is this age? Age is related to your body or your mind? Is purely body, biological age. You're getting it? It's purely body. Don't forget it. Okay, every time I ask, just take part in this. Take part in this, and then you will see, where I am leading you. So age is purely your biological, bodily aspect, and your body is nothing. Your body is nothing but made of atoms. You agree? Resents. Your body is made of atoms. All the atoms are same age. Now the older ones are happy. All the atoms are same age. Resents? Because all the atoms, they came from Big Bang. Time of Big Bang. Minimum Big Bang. 15 billion years. Minimum. All the atoms are as old as 15 billion years. The reality. So when you deconstruct, or you don't deconstruct like this, but if you go into yourself, okay, let's do a little bit of scanning exercise. Okay, just close your eyes and think of your body, think of yourself in the form of your body. And then you just see your body is made of, let's say, the skin, the heart, the lungs, the liver, the blood, and the body, and so forth. And these are made of cells. Just go into the cellular level, cells. And the cells, they at the nucleus of the cells, you see the chromosomes. And chromosomes are made of DNA molecules. And DNA molecules are made of atoms. Now you see yourself full of atoms. And atoms are made of electrons, protons, neutrons. Full of electrons, protons, neutrons. This is your body. This is your body. Okay, now tell me, and all these atoms are as old as the minimum 15 billion years. This is reality. Okay, now tell me, where is this age? Young, old, where is this? Tell me, where is this age? Tell me. Good, tell me, anyone. Now where is this age? On that level, where is the age difference? Is there age difference or no age difference? Those who are 40 plus will say no age difference. Young ones will not be too happy now. Right? So, look, where is this age? The concept of age dissolves. Concept of age dissolves on that level. But, come out and see to the other person, oh, he's very young. Look at this young man, Manrik, very young. And they must say, oh, don't stay too close with the young people. People see you older. This is reality. Right? If you want to look young, stay with the older person. If you want to look, if you want to stay with the young people, mentally you may feel young. But people will see that, oh, what is old person doing with these young people? So, where is this age? When it come out, obvious, undeniably, there's age difference there. You agree? When it come out, there's undeniably age difference there. You agree? But when you go on the atomic level, age difference it dissolves. Where's the age difference? Now tell me, where is it? What you're seeing is not really there. In your body, it's not there. So where is this age difference? Anyone? Anyone? Those who felt sad, those who feel happy, tell me, where is this age difference on that level? Where is it? Shandila. On that level, it doesn't exist. What does it mean by on that level, it doesn't exist? It'll take a little time. It'll take a little time.
Because you're doing ultimate analysis, so anything dissolves at ultimate in the when you do ultimate analysis on it.
This is coming from NMC1. Hey, did you understand what I'm saying? This is coming from NMC1. Okay, anyone else tell me. What Shantila said is just perfect, but give your own answers. Anyone? Raise hands. Chunzula. Chunzula here.
It's coming purely from the mind. It's from my mind.
From the object, it's 100% sure. From the object, just the atoms. There's no all are the same age. All the atoms same age. But the age gap that we're seeing from outside is a perception taking place to your mind. Now, on the object, there's nothing there. Object, subject. Objectively, there's no age difference. But age difference invariably appears. Undeniably, it appears there. It's just appearance. Appearance means appearance to your subject. It's subjective, the appearance. Beyond this, there's nothing as an age difference. Okay, so how many of you feel that, okay, it makes some sense. Objectively, I can, on the atomic level, there's no age difference. That is, I would say yes. You may not say yes, but you may say that, yeah, it makes sense. All the atoms are the same age. On that level, there's no age difference. Raise hands? Raise hands? But when you come out from distance, undeniably you see the age differences there. This again another reality which I cannot deny. This is reality. So there's a discrepancy between appearance and the reality. Reality, there's no age difference, but appearance, there's age difference. And both are undeniable reality. Undeniably both are real. So you say, when we think about this, you see that this little, you say, there's somewhere here at your heart, you feel little heaviness. When you see that, you may not be able to articulate it to say that there's a discrepancy between appearance and reality. But when somebody tells you, on the objective, on the atomic level, there's no difference. There's no age difference. Yes. But from distance, undeniably, there's age difference there. And it also functions like this. It's not just an illusion. It's really function as age difference. Younger ones will stay longer. The older ones will leave earlier. This is a reality. It does not. It's not that. It is not the. It does not follow like this in every case. But generally speaking, the really younger ones, they will gradually grow older, and the older ones will leave. The younger ones again. The next batch of younger ones will. Older ones will leave. This is how the world operates. So there is undeniable reality of the age difference. But when you go on the objective level, age is nothing but age, but the body, and the body is nothing but the atoms. On the atomic level, there's no difference in age. So no age there, and undeniably something is there. Undeniable age difference is there. So what is this? So there is a discrepancy that you are seeing, and you may feel a little bit of heaviness. Okay, if you are hearing this for the first time, and the heaviness is not coming, still you're fine, then it is ignorance is bliss. You're getting it? Ignorance is bliss. But don't worry. Study more, contemplate more, and gradually you realize that, wow, this is what I heard 10 years ago in Drepung Loseling Science Center. I heard it, now it makes sense. You're getting it? Okay. So there's a little heaviness that will come. If it comes, this is very, very auspicious. That this heaviness is because there's a clash happening. Clash between what? Clash between the chronic belief in things. Age as intrinsically real. Age difference. Intrinsically real age difference is a chronic belief. That chronic belief is now challenged by this wisdom. To see that objectively, intrinsically, there's no age difference. You discover that. It's not a full discovery, but you start to discover it. So because of this, a clash happening. That clash is manifested in the form of uneasiness. Somewhere there's uneasiness coming, a heaviness coming. A little bit of confusion. It's not a confusion because that you have a headache. It's because of confusion. Cognitively, there's a confusion happening. Confusion because you are seeing discrepancy there. So, if that happens, then how to resolve it? NMC1, NMC2, because you are the main audience. So, the resolve is, how to resolve this is as like what Chandala said, that what you see, the age difference now, the difference, age difference that you're seeing, this is one level of the perception, undeniable, the reality that your mind is perceiving. This is one. This is how your mind sees things. You go closer, you see that age difference dissolves. This is another reality. This is again a reality. It's not just you are exaggerating. Your mind is hallucinating that, okay, everybody is same age. No, it's not that you are not hallucinating. You are sane. There's sanity there, but you're discovering something that the age difference doesn't make any sense on that level. And then you come out. Again, age difference does make sense. It makes sense. So one level where age difference doesn't exist. On the other level, another level, age difference does exist. There's a discrepancy there. So with this discrepancy, because for the newcomers or the others, I would say just bear with us, and you can have more discussions with the group, in a group discussion. So there are two different perceptions taking place. It's not a hallucination. It's a valid mind in both cases. It's a valid mind. So there are two different perceptions taking place. So one which is going closer and to discover something. This age difference does not exist. And that mind which goes closer, that is known as ultimate analysis. Whereas come out of this, from distance you see the age difference, undeniable the existence of the age difference. That mind is known as conventional analysis. So the same object can be seen through two different minds. So one mind is known as ultimate analysis, and the other one is known as conventional analysis. So it's because of this that at times in the very standard text you see the mention of the mention that samsara and nirvana, these two are same. Samsara and nirvana is same. Some say samsara and nirvana, there's no difference between samsara and nirvana. Some say, some texts you'll find samsara and nirvana is. What does it mean by that? It doesn't mean that samsara and nirvana, they are same. This is not the meaning. There's a deeper meaning here. It's not to be taken as literally. There's a deeper meaning. What's the deeper meaning? If you understand this ultimate analysis, conventional analysis, then you will realize what's the meaning of the samsara and nirvana to be same. For example, let's say you look at the same object, Mount Kailash, which is the snow mountain, so beautiful, spick and span, clean, white, clean, so pure, and we go there, and one group use the very cheap the goggles to protect you from the snow glare. Very cheap goggles, which is very murky, and the other one, very high quality, the glasses, the high quality, crystal clear glasses. Two groups go there, A and B go there, and group A will say that, what is this? This so dirty, murky Mount Kailash. I learned that Mount Kailash, very sacred place, but it's so dirty. And group B will say, oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, how many of you can understand this much? With sense? With this metaphor? Okay, so why the same object is seen in two different ways? One says it's so beautiful, one says so dirty. So what makes the difference? Anyone? Anyone? Listen, what makes the difference? Okay, Isarla. Here. It takes a little while. Okay. Okay, the Isarla is saying that the two are using two different perspectives. Okay, how many agree with Isarla? Raise hands. Very good. They're using two different perspectives. On the object level, it's the same object. There's no two different objects. You agree? Raise hands. On the object, it's just one Mount Kailash. But you see it two different ways because two different perspectives or the subjects are used. Two different subjects, two different glasses are used. One very clean glass, one very murky glass. So invariably you see the same object in two different ways. So now, what is meant by samsara and nirvana as same? This is very important. This class should know this. What's the real meaning of that? Is that the dirty Mount Kailash, as seen through the murky glass, that is samsara. Let me repeat it. Dirty Mount Kailash, seen through the murky goggles, is the samsara. Clean Mount Kailash, seen through the clean goggles, is nirvana. You get it? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? These two are not exactly identical, but on the object side, it's just the same. It's one object. There's no two Mount Kailashes, only one. But the same object seen in two different ways. So therefore, the dirty aspect or the appearance of the dirty Mount Kailash seen through the dirty lenses, that is known as samsara. And the clean appearance of the Mount Kailash seen through the clean lenses, this is known as the nirvana. So samsara and nirvana, these two are not identical, these two are very different. Why different? You see, samsara is very disturbing. Dirty Mount Kailash is disturbing. Clean Mount Kailash is very peaceful. There's an ease there. So the reaction is very different, which means the object, these two are not identical. But on the object level, it's the same. On the object, objectively speaking, the intrinsic nature is just the same. But on the level of the subject, we see that these two are two different things. Samsara and nirvana, in that sense. So this is how we explain it. So likewise, we see the same object, and it can be seen in two different ways. One by ultimate analysis and one by conventional analysis. Okay, how many of you thus far you understood minimum 50%? Resents 50%, if you understood it, very good. Okay, now let me put it like this. The flower not being able to withstand the ultimate analysis. Now you know what is ultimate analysis. When the mind goes too close to the object to analyze the object disappears. The age concept disappears. It's non-existent on that level. It's not like magic happening, which exists and suddenly disappears. This is not like magic. The reality is such that on the ultimate analysis, on the level of ultimate analysis, this age gap does not exist at all. Age gap exists on what level? On the level of the conventional analysis. It exists on that level. On the ultimate analysis level, it does not exist in the first place. It does not exist at all. So this is what you are discovering. So we see that in the eyes of ultimate analysis, the flower appears or it does not appear. The moment you switch your mind from the conventional analysis to the ultimate analysis with respect to the flower still appears or it does not appear. It does not, because on that level, your mind is not insane. Your mind is, there's sanity there. Your mind is sane. And still the flower disappears, which means you're discovering reality, that on that level, the flower doesn't exist. So that is so there, when you subject the same flower to ultimate analysis, the flower concept dissolves. So the flower does not exist. So that is the meaning of flower notwithstanding the ultimate analysis. Flower cannot retain as I am the flower in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis comes, still I'm the flower. Ultimate analysis, you are the flower. No, it doesn't happen. So if it does happen like this, then the flower should withstand the ultimate analysis. But with this analysis, the flower disappears. So therefore, it says the flower cannot withstand the ultimate analysis. Okay, how many understood this? Minimum 40%. Very good. Okay, so flower does not exist ultimate analysis. Now tell me, house, can it withstand ultimate analysis? The same logic, same reason. Okay, now let's say the air in this house, air in this hall, can withstand ultimate analysis? No, same. Now, from this what is said, that with the ultimate analysis, you bring any object, you bring anything, and subject to the ultimate analysis, that object doesn't make any sense. You getting it? So this is the meaning of nothing exists objectively. Objectively, nothing exists, which means nothing can withstand the ultimate analysis. Nothing can withstand, including emptiness. Including emptiness, nothing can withstand ultimate analysis. Okay, how many of you now understood it? Like 40% or more. Sense? Nothing can. Now, so the debate that we have been discussing this morning, all these fine-tuned debates are required to make this understanding crystal clear, that you become unshakably confident in your understanding. Okay, if you understood this much, then I would say we are doing pretty good job. Now we have to gradually move to reading the text. Okay, so with this, we're talking about the identifying the object of negation. And the object negation, when we identify object negation, you have to identify it accurately, precisely. So what we said this morning is that so what is object negation? What does it mean by object negation? Object negation, as Min said, object negation should be such that you negate it. Negation of the particular object negation connotes, the very moment connotes you understand emptiness. That you negate it, and simultaneously you have to realize emptiness. This should be the qualification of the object negation. So therefore, we say that an object existing independently of the cause and effect and cause and conditions, an object existing independently of the cause and conditions, this is not the object negation of emptiness, because even if you reject it, it does not entail you understanding, you realizing emptiness. So this is what we discussed this morning. So the Lama Tsongkhapa here, primarily we see that all along these, the remaining chapters that we are going to cover as a part of this Insight chapter, is that the Lama Tsongkhapa is clarifying, one explaining the identified object negation. So Lama Tsongkhapa is the, as Arjuna said this morning, to identify object negation, what we need to do is that we need to solve the two problems. What two problems? Maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. These two problems must be avoided. So in Tibetan, Kapchewa Pongwa, Kapchungwa Pongwa. Kapchewa Pongwa is maximalist redundancy, removing the maximalist redundancy, and Kapchungwa Pongwa is minimalist inadequacy. So we need to avoid these two the ways of identifying the object negation, so that we get the correct understanding of the object negation, thereby rejecting it, entailing you to understand emptiness. So having said this, now what constitutes the, what constitutes the maximalist redundancy? Somebody identify the object of negation and fall into the problem of the maximalist redundancy. Many of the past Tibetan masters, before Lama Tsongkhapa or even contemporary to Lama Tsongkhapa, because the Madhyamikas, the study of Madhyamika became extremely prominent with Lama Tsongkhapa's teacher, Venerable the Geshe Lama Tsongkhapa's teacher. From there, the study of emptiness, study of the Madhyamika became very prominent in Tibet, and then with Lama Tsongkhapa, it became even more widely being studied and valued. So till that point, it was not really so popular in Tibet. And because of this, people who claim to that they know the Madhyamika philosophy, they usually fall into one of these two problems, either maximalist redundancy or minimalist inadequacy. And now the point is that maximalist redundancy. So these people who fall in this category, what is their problem? I'll tell you. What's the problem? They equate existence and intrinsic existence, okay, to make it easy. For them, they equate existence and intrinsic existence. So for them, if something exists, it should exist intrinsically. If something does not exist intrinsically, it should be non-existent altogether. Let me repeat it. This is very important. For these people who fall under the category of the maximalist redundancy, not all, one group, particularly in those days in Tibet, before Lama Tsongkhapa, even contemporary to Lama Tsongkhapa, there were many scholars, Tibetan scholars, who equate existence and intrinsic existence. So when they reject intrinsic existence, they reject existence altogether, more than what is to be rejected. So, how many you understand that? Oh, if you reject intrinsic existence, say you reject intrinsic existence flower, and you reject flower, is correct? Not correct? Hey, not correct. You reject flower, you reject intrinsic flower. That equals to rejecting flower. Correct? Not correct? Not correct. Why not? Huh? Okay, Omula. Okay, flower does exist. Intrinsic flower does not exist. Intrinsic flower is to be rejected, but a flower does exist. How many agree with Omula's sense? Yes, Omula. Very good. Everybody agrees. Thank you. So, flower exists. If somebody says that flower does not exist because there's no intrinsic flower, then what's the problem? Huh? Flower doesn't exist because the Buddha rejected intrinsic flower. Intrinsic flower, the Buddha said there's no intrinsic flower. Flower doesn't exist. What's the problem of that person? That person falls in which problem? Nihilism. Nihilism. So, you remember the two gates? Which gate he could not pass through? First gate. First gate says, two things exist. And what is he saying? Okay. So this morning, how the debate is going, and some of the scholars, they were so impressed. And suddenly what happened? Right. Okay. So for them who fall into the problem of the maximalist redundancy, say when to think the flower exists, they will say, no, the flower doesn't exist. What's the problem? They could not enter into which of the gate? First gate, which says, do things exist? What should be the answer? Yes, things exist, but they say, no, things don't exist, which means they fall into which of the two problems, or which of the two extremes? The extreme of nihilism, absolutism, nihilism. Very good. So therefore, we should be able to say that things do exist, but what is the second gate? Do things exist objectively? The answer is no. If you say yes, what's the problem? You fall into the extreme of absolutism. Very good. So this, if you can make this distinction, things exist, but things exist, but they do not exist objectively. Okay. How many you can say this wherever you go from Drepung Loseling Monastery, wherever you go in the future? Some said, oh, in Buddhism there's nothing existent. Everything is selfless. There's nothing existing. Then you will be bold enough, you will be confident enough to say that, no, things exist, but they don't exist objectively. How many of you could say this, raise hands? Are you sure? Okay, at the moment hands are coming up, all the hands are coming up. And okay, let us make sure that we are not dragged by those people, who said, no, in Buddhism there's nothing existent. Buddha said the form is empty. Everything's empty. Okay, so this is a distinction that you should be able to make. If you're able to make this distinction, things exist, but things don't exist objectively. If you can make this distinction, then as we read the text, it makes sense to us. You're getting it? So here, the text, the part that we are reading now at this moment, is about those Tibetan scholars who identify the object negation as things existing per se is object negation. In other words, existence and objective existence are seen as synonymous. So this is their problem, and you would say that no, these two are not synonymous. So if you understand this much, that's good enough. And later on, with more studies, you should be convinced, not just that you be able to mimic or you be able to just intellectually say something, but experientially you should be able to get the conviction. Okay. Now, having said this, chapter 15. Page number 185. Page 185. Okay. So the page 185. I'll also like to just open this booklet. We'll try to quickly learn how to use this booklet. Reference numbers, and the cross-reference numbers, and the page numbers, and so forth. Manvik, you have? This one. Where is it? Okay. Good. So, anybody who did not get this copy? Anyone? Is there anybody who didn't get a copy of this copy? Anyone? Never. Okay, Tinzinla. Is there extra copy of this on the table? Here, Manla. Okay, raise hands if you do not have this copy. Okay, we all have this, huh? We don't have. Okay, one here. One will keep your copy. Raise hands who do not have this copy. Raise hands who do not have this copy. So even the design, the cover design, look, this is coming from the Manla's instruction to the Tibet's IT staff, and Tibet's IT staff making sure that it goes through Geshe to check if it's correct, right? And Manla saying that make like this is this, and then the IT staff would say that this instruction from Geshe, right? And Manla said, okay, you're getting it. Okay, this effort of Manla IT staff. So this is this would be, and then 90th birthday anniversary of His Holiness. So this is a very auspicious year. We are doing this very precious text, and the work by Ladunla raise a hand. If not half, full. Everybody can say full. Okay, so she worked hard on this to give the reference number 1 and so forth. Okay, let us quickly go through this, and this will be very helpful. And in fact, many of the textbooks which Tibet House is using for knowledge studies, like Tennis System, what textbooks with the reference numbers we have given? Pramana Vartika, Mathimaka Avatara, Tennis System. Okay, so many of these have the same system of these reference numbers. Original books, they don't have these reference numbers. So these are made for the purpose of the readers to feel easy to go through the text for the monastic scholars. So here, like Geshe Lam, Genhabalam, and Gensonlam, Gentoyenlam, and of course the Geshe, for them, they don't require this. They don't require these reference numbers, because without the reference numbers, then you have to struggle to really work where it came from, where that way your mind is used, and you get a very good picture. So, whereas for the general audience, those people who are dependent on English, particularly I would say English with modern education, if it's not made too easy, it will remain 0 or 100. The scholars will get 100, and those people who do not have the cross numbers, they will get 0. So therefore, to make sure that everybody gets something, so this reference numbers, cross-reference numbers they're given, this will be very helpful. Okay, I'll just go through this very quickly, and you get some idea how to use these cross-reference numbers and so forth. Okay, first it says, outlines of chapter inside Lamrim 3rd volume with page numbers in English and Tibetan. And the English, what we're reading, English, as of now, there's only one edition meaning, one translation by the team, whole team, where Professor Roger Jackson here is a part of. Yes, Professor Roger Jackson is a part of this team, and this is extremely great gift for the humanity. The 3 volumes in English, incredibly great gift. We should be feeling very grateful to the whole team for making this available. And then the Tibetan, there are so many, the editions are there, different printings are there. So the page number given here is the book that I'm using, the edition that I'm using, where we are correlating between the Tibetan English. So this is, and if you want the Tibetan copy, I will leave it with Manla and the Ajakasanla. And I give you the soft copy of that. So anybody who wants the Tibetan, the same thing that I'm using, Ajakasanla can send it to you. The soft copy can be given to you. Okay. So with this in mind, it says reference number. Anyway, this is done. This was done very quickly, because that it is almost only like 2 or 3 days to come to Drepung. Only 2 or 3 days, and I asked Ladunla, can you do this? And she said yes. So therefore, it was done in 2 or 3 days, and Tibetan staff. So then the Tibetan staff, they printed this within 1 day. Print this out within 1 day. So therefore, this is where the collective effort of the people, and then in a way, the cover, which is so beautiful and so nice, and this is from the backdrop of But the main backdrop we're going to use on 17th. So from there, this is like a redesign. It was relatively easy because the design was already done by the IT staff, and then copied it here and put whatever changes required is done. Okay, so with this in mind, reference A, the process of learning the perfections. If you go through just the English translation, the book, without this, then you will easily get lost. What you're reading, the links, you will just get lost. And those who really worked on this, the translation, they know where it's coming from where, but otherwise the readers, you will not get any clue. So because I was doing this, I was doing both, and then I was getting lost, and I know how the outlines work. So therefore I requested her now to make this. Okay. Reference A, the process of learning the perfections. After generating bodhicitta, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. You made the commitment. Then to become Buddha, what should I do? You should practice the perfections. 6 perfections, 4 perfections. The process of learning the perfections. This has 2 parts. This has 2 parts. So what are 2 parts? Underneath this, you see 1 and 2. So all these reference numbers, they're all given by Rajunla. They're not what you find in the book. But in the book, you see number 1, number 2. Number 1, it says, how to train in the Bodhisattva's deeds in general. Then, in number 2, in particular, how to train in the last 2 perfections. In general, meaning 6 perfections in general. And then the last 2 perfections, what are the last 2 perfections out of the 6? Hey, what are the last 2 perfections out of the 6? Nimala, hey, your next door neighbor.
Meditative concentration and wisdom.
Meditative concentration and the wisdom of emptiness. Thank you so much. So, it says how to train the Bodhisattva's deeds in general. General meaning 6 perfections general. And then number 2, in particular, how to train in the last 2 perfections. Perfection of the meditative concentration and the perfection of the wisdom of emptiness. So that each one of them given reference number A, B, and C. And reference number D, you don't really have to worry too much about reference. Why reference A is given, B is given. Just flow with this, and then you will come to know when to use these reference numbers. I'll show you. Reference D says second. Second means okay. Let's see. Now look. This is very important. Once you learn how to use this, this just gives you a sense of ease, great ease. Second, in particular, so with this second came from where? At the moment it's easy because it's very nearby. Later as you go down, then it says second, third, you will not know where the second and third is coming from. So second, in particular, how to train in the last 2 perfections. You can guess, just reading this, you can guess, you said there are 2, training the Bodhisattva's deeds in general, and in particular how to train in the last 2 perfections. So now, how to use the cross-reference. It says, second, in particular, how to train in the last 2 perfections. Then it says CF, REF, what is that? C. So, cross-reference number C. So you want to know where this section came from. You go to reference number C. So reference number C, go to the extreme left. Extreme left, where is reference number C? What is the reference number C? It says number 2. So this is number 2. Second means that number 2. In particular, how to train the last 2 perfections. So under this, it says the benefit of cultivating serenity and insight. Serenity here is shamatha. Shamatha, the last 2 perfections. Shamatha and insight is the special insight. Special insight. And under this, number 2, and you want to say it gave them a Tibetan page number. Number 2, showing that these 2 include all stages of meditative concentration. These all come under this section. In particular, how to train in the last 2 perfections. Number 3, the nature of serenity and insight. Number 4, why it is necessary to cultivate both serenity and insight. And although we are not studying these things, because that we're already halfway through of this chapter, why we included this, why I asked Lama to include this, is for us to go through these and then say, oh, they're very important segments there. I need to study each of these points. That you'll feel the desire to learn each of these points, very important points, which are actually being covered in this text. So I have to go through the text. Number 5, how to be certain about the order. Why the serenity first, shamatha first, followed by the special insight. Why this order? There's a reason there. Number 6, how to train in each. How to train in shamatha, how to train in shamatha means how to train in the meditative concentration, and the highest level, which is known as shamatha, and then the special insight. Then, okay, so the next one is little like, seems like repetition, but if you look at the page numbers and so forth, the sometimes they vary slightly. So otherwise, just ignore this. It's more like a repetition. Now, reference number 1. How do you train in insight? How to train insight? This is what we're actually studying about the special insight. So this has 4 parts. This is 4 parts. And what are the 4 parts given below? First, fulfilling the prerequisites for insight, for how to create the prerequisites. What are the preconditions, the prerequisites required for us to prepare us to practice special insight. Number 2, classifications of special insight. Number 3, how to cultivate insight in meditation. And number 4, the measure of achieving the measure. So what is the mark of having attained special insight? Through the meditation. Then first, what is this first? So if you don't know, the first is always easy. It's right next to that. First from the immediate preceding one. What's the first one? Just go to reference number. Just check reference number. This has 3 parts and the cross reference number 2. So you will have to go to the extreme left number 2. What is left reference number 2? Do you see that? To the left reference number 2. What did it say? Fulfilling the prerequisites for insight. So this is what we are reading here is the first, fulfilling the prerequisites for insight chapter. There's the 3 parts. There are 3 parts. And it says, the next page, the 3 are identifying scriptures. So you now look, I'll quickly explain each one of them very quickly. Identifying scriptures of provisional meaning and the definite meaning. In the sutras, scriptures meaning in the sutras, they are teachings of the Buddha, which we can take as they take literally, and some teachings which are to be interpreted. So identify which is which. Then number 2, the history of commentary on Arya Nagarjuna's intended meaning. So Arya Nagarjuna wrote the Mool Madhyama Karika, fundamental wisdom of the middle way, and then the history as to who wrote the commentary, which commentary was written by which author. All these will come here. Number 3, how to determine the philosophical view of emptiness. So how to establish emptiness. This is the key. This is the main thing that we are studying. Reference number 10. Third, how to determine the philosophical view of emptiness. Now, if you want to see how to determine the philosophical view of emptiness, oh, I want to study this, so where can I find this? Right? Then go to the extreme right. It says cross-reference number 10. You have to go to reference number 10, you'll find it there. So in 10 it says, how do you determine the philosophical view of emptiness? This has 2 parts. The stages of entry into reality. How to enter into the ultimate reality, number 1. Number 2, actual determination of the reality. How to establish the reality. How to establish emptiness. This morning we talked about the 4 essentials to establish emptiness. So likewise, how to really understand it. How to study emptiness. Okay, so particularly those of us who are outside the knowledge studies, just try to pay attention. Pay attention, although I'm a little going fast, pay attention to see if you can grab something that I'm sharing. If you can grab something, the next, when I move to the next, if the first one disappears from my mind, don't worry. Imprint is there. Then, what did you hear the earlier? No, it disappeared. Don't worry. Okay, so, and the imprint is left. Whereas for NMC 1, NMC 2, I expect you to really understand what I'm saying. Okay, reference number 11, the stages of entry into reality. Number 12, the actual determination of reality, which means how to actually establish emptiness. How can we really study this? And this is the main point. So, reference number 13, second, actual determination of reality. So, it came from the reference number 12. It says, this section actually determining the view of reality has three parts. Cross reference number 12, it came from there. So, what are the three? First, identify the object to be negated. Identify object negation. This is now we are coming close there. Identify object negation. This has to be, object negation is to be identified, number one. Number two, whether to carry out that refutation with a Savatantrika procedure or with a Prasanga procedure. So, object negation once identified, how do we reject, how to be negated? Negated based on Savatantrika mathematics philosophy or according to Prasangika philosophy. Which one should we choose? Number two, reference number 15. Whether to carry out the refutation with the Savatantrika procedure or with the Prasangika procedure. Number three, how to use that procedure to generate the right philosophical view within your mind stream. How to really experience by applying the reasons that you have studied, whether from the Savatantrika Madhyamaka or from the Prasanga Madhyamaka, then how to actually feel, experience this emptiness. The next, now the object negation. Identify object negation. So what are two problems? What are the two problems? Maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. Okay, now let's see. Reference number 18 and 17 says, identify the object to be negated, which is identify object negation. And by reason. And also it says chapters 10 to 7. Chapters 10 to 7, these are all given by the translator of the text. Translator of the text in English. In the Tibetan you would not find this chapter 1, 2, 3. These are not there. It's only the outlines. But they'll also add these there. Then reference number 18. So 18, three things to be covered under the identify the object negation. One, why the object negation must be carefully identified, which Laura has said, correctly identify the object negation. This morning, Laura has said, correctly. Why do you have to correctly identify object negation? If you miss identify object negation correctly, if you fall to maximum redundancy, minimal redundancy, the inadequacy, there's a problem. So why the object negation must be carefully identified or correctly identified. Number two, refuting other systems that refute without identifying the object to be negated. So those who fail to identify object negation well, and still they try to negate the object negation, what's the problem? How do we refute these positions? Reference number 20. Number 3, how our system meaning Acharya Chandragir's system, how Acharya Chandragir's system identifies the object of negation. Okay, so next, reference number 21. Refuted other systems that refute the identified object negation, where what could be the wrong way of identifying, incorrect way of identifying object negation? It is 2. Reference number 22, which is number 1, refuting an overly broad identification. Overly broad identification of the object to be negated. So we added this maximalist redundancy. You don't find this in the English translation. It's not in the English. These are the vocabularies which I picked up, from other sources, non-Buddhist sources. From there I picked this up and I added this for us to understand it more clearly. So in the text in Tibetan, it is Kyapchewa Pongwa. Gacha Kyapchewa Pongwa is overly broad identification, identifying the object negations more than what is to be identified, maximalist redundancy. And if you want to exactly go where it is, it says that cross-reference number. It says cross-reference number 24. So you have to go to 24. 24 go. You to where to 24? Where can we see this? You go to extreme left side. Go to extreme left side. So if you want to the cross reference number 24, go to the extreme left side, and 24. Where is it? Which page number is it on? Page number 7. This is how we have to use it. We can use it. Next, Okay, next is reference of, reference number 23, refuting an overly restricted. The first one is overly broad. Now overly restricted, which means minimalist inadequacy. Restricted identification of the object, kapchunga. The Tibetan word is kapchunga. Identification of object to be negated. Again, the first is the maximum redundancy. So under this, again there are two, stating others' assertions, how the opponents, how those people who fall into the problem of the maximum redundancy, what do they say? What do they say? Their position, stating the others' assertions. And then number two, showing that those assertions are wrong. The Lama Tsongkhapa, by citing Acharya Chandrakirti, Nagarjuna and so forth, proving that how they assert of the object negation is wrong. Okay, the next, reference 27, second, showing that those assertions are wrong. This is two parts, showing that those systems contradict the unique feature of Madhyamaka. So these mainly they are the classical earlier Tibetan scholars who equate existence and intrinsic existence. Okay, this is what I was expecting when I was preparing months ago. People, the volume shuts down. Right? This is what I'm expecting, so I'm not shocked. Okay, so the opponent, the people who fall into the problem of the maximus redundancy, for them, what's the problem? In what way they fall? How they fall in the extreme of the maximus redundancy is by equating existence and intrinsic existence, and non-existence and non-intrinsic existence as same. Intrinsic and intrinsic existence and existence as same. So this is if you know this, then this section is covered. Okay. The next, reference number 27, second, showing that those assertions are wrong. So it came from where? So you have to check the cross-reference number. Cross-reference number says, go to reference number 26. So 26, go to extreme left, and then check where 26 is. So it came from there. So this came from where? This came from where? What is the main umbrella? Umbrella is refuting an overly broad identification of the object to be negated. And where did it come from? Where did it come from? Huh? Okay. So look. Okay, look. Geshe and here Genhavala, Geshe Tenzin, and the Genyundela and Gesonumla. What they've been studying is, so here, all the ready-made cross-references all are there. How they study, I'll tell you. How they study. Same, let's say, the Dini Gaksha Kapchua, you know. So there's one passage in the text. So just the debater will come with this line. Any line is up to you. From this whole book, you can just pick up any line with which you want to debate with your person. And then he or she will pick up this line. Dini Gaksha Kapchua, you know. And say that, tell me from which textbook this line is taken. Right? You don't read textbook. You have to say, oh, it came from this textbook, that textbook. If you're correct, then we'll say, tell me which is the exact outline. You're getting it? So don't bring this book. They don't have this book. They don't have this book. So you'll say it came from this outline. You have to recite precisely. And this outline came from where? What is the main umbrella outline? And you have to say this by heart. This outline. And this outline has how many sub-outlines there? Oh, 7. What are the 7? You have to say all these 7. So this always an umbrella, the mother umbrella, the umbrella of these 7. And this came from where? You go back. This came from where? They don't have this book. You're getting it? They have to all come prepared. So it came from this. And that has how many sub-outlines? 4. What are the 4? These 4. So this 4 came from what is the main umbrella? Umbrella, what is the partner, the outline of that? It came from that outline. How many outlines are there? You will keep go to the first. Lamrim Chenmo has 2 outlines. From there you have to track to this point. All by heart. You're getting it? Whereas if I say that you do this, you will say that I'll not come to the class, NMC. No, NMC. Okay. So, now we are on reference number 27. Reference number 27, page 7. Reference number 27. Second, showing that those assertions are wrong. So this has 2 parts. What are they? Showing that those systems contradict the unique feature of Madhyamaka, and showing that the Tibetan scholars who fall to this maximalist redundancy, they contradict with the unique feature of the Madhyamaka philosophy. Although you claim yourself as Madhyamaka, but you are not a Madhyamaka, you contradict with the Madhyamaka system. Number 2, showing that the Madhyamaka critique does not eradicate conventional existence. So Acharya Chandrakriti being Madhyamaka, and those who trying to reject Acharya Chandrakriti, saying that you cannot point to the contradiction Acharya Chandrakriti saying that you are rejecting the conventional reality. So if you're interested in each one of them, you can easily track which page number and what are the earlier outlines. You can easily track based on this compilation. Then next, reference number 30. First, showing that those systems contradict the unique feature of Madhyamaka. Okay, how many, by reading this, how many get some idea? Okay, this is how the outlines work. How many got some idea? Minimum 20%. Minimum 20%. How many you got some idea how to use this? Very good. Okay, so just exercise with this. Just exercise this with, say, sometimes when even after the retreat, just take this with you, keep with you, and just go through this, and then gradually you will get a broader and broader and broader under the scope of the text, and gradually you will get the whole picture in your hand. So I remember it was here in the Drepung Loseling Monastery that during the summer retreat, the Yarne in Tibetan, during the summer retreat, in those when I was, I think, the second year of my, second of the 6 years of the Geshe exam, and the I'm not too sure. There are some my seniors, Geshe Tutembesanla, and Geshe Tutensunamla, and Geshe Wangyala, and I think sometimes even the former abbot of Drepung Loseling, Geshe Samdenla. We come together, like-minded people come together, and then we study this. First, we will just read the root text of Madhyamaka Avatar by heart, all of us together by heart, and then each one of us, we take turn to explain a few verses, and then we debate, and we also try to identify the outlines without looking at the book. And so because that when we are students studying the Madhyamaka, it takes like 3 years. So that we are just studying a small section, we don't get the whole picture. So after completing the course, and then we sit together, like many people sit together, and they read the text. In 2-3 days' time, we complete the whole text. So this is how we keep explaining, debate, discussions, and then checking the outlines and recite the text by heart and contemplate meanings as we recited. The very strange, extremely profound feelings can come. Because you get the whole picture of Madhyamaka Avatara, extremely liberating the feelings can come to you. This is very precious, so it'll happen to you also. Just keep this with you in your bag, and whenever you have like half an hour, 1 hour, just go through this. Just don't rush through. Just see, okay, this is second, how many, it has 2 parts, what are they? So how these 2 parts are related to the umbrella outline, just check it. And this umbrella outline came from where? And what is the umbrella outline of that? The line. Just keep taking, and then gradually you have a Buddha nature. That's amazing. You have a Buddha nature. And believe it or not, your understanding, the capacity to see things very broadly will keep increasing. It's already there in the form of seed. You need to exercise that. So by doing this, and gradually you see that even your intelligence is growing, your comprehension grows, and you see your ability to see things in broad way, with incorporating everything, detail, all will be increased within you. This is very, very precious with this. This style of composition with these outlines is unique in Tibet. And this was totally absent in the Indian style of composition. Acharya Chandrakirti's texts, Bodhisattva Shantideva's texts are in Nagarjuna, so you will never find this way of the outlines. Outlines are some unique aspect of the Tibetan scholars. So the Indian scholars is more like the synopsis. Synopsis in the form of bullet points. So whatever is going to be discussed in the following, in the book, will all be just put in the form of a, say, synopsis. Synopsis like one paragraph with the bullet points. And these are the topics to be covered. Bullet points will be given, and then one by one, whereas in the Tibetan is the outlines. These two are different the systems. Okay. So we'll stop here. We'll do the end declaration prayer. I think page 56. Page 55. Page 55. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Chenmo say Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as a brave Manjushri and summoned about her too realize things they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. Having dispelled all inner and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, to the environment degradation, may all beings forever enjoy the glory of peace. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the moment of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting but what means can enhance his teaching achieved by the Supreme Savior through the strenuous efforts over countless eons. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds were blinded by ignorance. Or you will recite this, Buddha Shamana praise. Togye tuje shage reso chon shenge meto dege bonjombo 세계는 보다보 제배고 샤예예보 결하자세로 오머니 Mahamuna Yeswa Muni Muni Mahamuna Yeswa Tage Tuje Shage so chon shenge meto dege bonjomba serge lumbo tabo ko shaye gebo la cha se lo mone mone mahamona yeswa mone mone mahamona yeswa tage tuje shaye reso chon shenge me tege bon jamba sege lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye yebo kyala cha se lo mone mone mahamona yeswa 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 mone mone mahamona yeswa. Okay, three positions together.